So, good evening, everyone. Our joinees for the event tonight are not yet with us, but hey, you know what? It's time to kind of kick this off a little bit. Got an interesting little bit of show for us tonight. Couple of videos that we have linked in the show notes, and they are a rather disturbing tornado video and some education about lightning, which was a question that was asked, I think, last week in our live stream, and which answers a question I believe Rodney asked about negative versus positive lightning. So, going to be kind of cool to review that. I'm not going to replay the videos on this channel because they're already on one of our we consider a friend YouTube channel. So the link to that channel and those videos are in the show notes. So just if you want to follow along as we go, you can watch those probably a little bit before we're on the air. Excuse me. Do want to mention here I've got the Moody Air Force Base radar up, which is quite near Jacksonville, and they have a tornado warning going right now. So let me just read the text of that warning. Tornado warning remains in effect till 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for northern Gilchrist, northwestern Alachua, southwestern Columbia, and southeastern Suwannee counties. At 9:02 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe tornado capable of producing, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles southwest of Itchnecby Spring. I'm sure I massacred that. I apologize for the folks that live there. It is moving east at 45 miles per hour, and the hazards include a tornado. This is a radar indicated rotation, and this dangerous storm will be near Itchtuckney Spring around 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Fort White around 9:20 p.m., and High Springs around 9:25. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Brantford and Hildreth. That screen's a little far away, kind of hard to read, but you do want to take cover now if you're in this location. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This cluster of thunderstorms is capable of producing tornadoes and widespread significant wind damage. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado for your protection. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Torrential rainfall is occurring with this storm and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. So remember, turn around, don't drown. So that's my latest. If I get something before we go live, I'll put it on, and we want to make sure that any warnings that are coming through will be passed along to you as we have a little fun tonight. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. We do have an active tornado, and we've got some stuff to review and kind of talk about Skywarn safety. Kind of fun. Alrighty. So we'll be back in a few minutes. It's Steve with Greene County Skywarn. The severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Hamilton and southeastern Eccles and southeastern Clinch counties is canceled. The storms which prompted the warning have moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until midnight Eastern Daylight Time for northern and northeastern Florida and southeastern Georgia. This is Steve with Greene County Skywarn. They can hear you.
Hey, cool. So I have off and on today been watching these storms. Earlier they were across Georgia. Um, Currently they're in northern Florida. Um, Quite interesting. This line pushed up and it continues to push up out of the Gulf and just seems to continue to feed itself. There's another line behind it coming up into Panama City. One thing of note, and I can't say it's totally typical, but it is something that early in my radar training, I was told to look for on the southern end of a squall line is where tornadoes will typically occur. And this evidently has enough soup that there are multiple. I'm seeing 5 warning boxes right now on my radar, as well as a tornado possible in a thunderstorm to the north of that. I lovingly call them tail end Charlies. But what's different about these today is these have been long track. Earlier today, there was one that went across southern Georgia that appeared to stay on the ground, do damage for quite some time. Was behind the warnings. There were a number of reports of thunderstorm damage. So I guess we'll know tomorrow on that.
Just for the sake of having a look, I've got the which looks like 1800 Zulu sounding, and I'm not sure if this one came out of the. I think it came from. What's that? Military base down there. It's got the radar.
I think that's the feed I'm watching, KVAX.
Yeah, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's Jacksonville. But the sounding, most unstable Cape 823. Your convective inhibition is -90, which that would indicate virtually no cap. But it does show a slight cap somewhere around 500 millibars, or right at 6 kilometers.
Which would make sense if that's Jacksonville. The storms are staying to the west and north of there for the moment.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the 1800 Zulu plot is a bit aged. I'm going to give it that. It's got a pretty good amount of storm slinky. But the possible hazards are included. They're saying none. So, it's not...
Not the right one.
I'm not going to say that that's exciting. Let's all right, let me get the right model. Get off GFS. I want NAM. There we go. That's got an accurate representation. And I'm going to click right on the... Oh yeah, here we go. There's your soup. It's 1800 Zulu, and that was clicking right on the military base.
Okay. Which is up by Valdosta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
South Central Florida. Or Georgia. South Central Georgia. MU Capes 2062. Convective inhibition -11. Got a pretty low cloud deck, 579 on the LCL. Lift index -6, and LFC 794.
Yeah, pretty soupy. Explains what we're seeing.
It does. Both the 70. So I guess the red and the green, I'm going to say that probably was at the time of the
would have been 1
sounding.
p.m.
At
1
the
p.m.
time of the sounding, the ambient temperature was 78, the dew point 70, which fell off quite rapidly, and you don't see a major fall off in the they almost run parallel together until you get to around 5 kilometers, which Then you see a little bit of a spike over on the dew point, but there again it drops. It goes right back together again, and it runs right up till it gets up into the upper atmosphere. Storm Slinky looks like a hockey stick. And possible hazard types: PDS Tor.
Yep.
I'm not going to call that the Torcon.
Oh, Torcon, you assign a number, and that's a little late in the game to say, hey, we've got tornadoes racing across north central Florida right now. So the photos that I shared were from, roughly 45 minutes ago. And wanted to give folks an idea of what we're looking at here. Of course, it's changed a little bit, but the same storms continue to have tornado warnings on them as they push on to the east and northeast.
Because I can't show you that, I've got the picture of the Outlook that's centered on Hot Springs, goes down to Shreveport.
Okay. That's for tomorrow. That's day 2 convective outlook that I shared with you.
Was there another one I need to get for you?
There were 2 more that I shared prior to that.
Alright, so bear with me a second, and
Sure.
I'll shut that off. I've only got you on audio right now, so
Okay, that's fine.
we'll see if I can do this without that X. He shared those. There we go. Oy.
Just let me know which one you got up.
I did a bad thing. I didn't get them downloaded, so bear with me.
Oh, not a problem.
Very, very bad. Very bad.
Very bad.
Alright, so I got the view was centered on Gainesville. Would have been the first one you sent.
Right. It did not have the warning boxes on it.
Oh no, this one does. You want the other one then?
I want the other one. The other one first.
Okay.
Well, I guess either one. I can just let me know which one you've got up.
All right, so I got it up without the warning boxes. So go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me when the next one is.
I had zoomed in on that to show the notches that were on that line and why they were calling those tornado warnings. I think we got Rodney ready to call in now.
Okay.
I can stop till he gets in here.
I'm adding him.
Awesome.
I don't have a. There he is.
Welcome aboard, Rodney.
Howdy.
Hey, I was just starting to talk about the pictures that I shared from the radar screen from a little while ago. The one Steve has up right now is without the warning boxes on it to show a close-up of the notching that was occurring and why they were warning those storms. They had very definite hooks on them.
There's
Three, as a matter of fact, at the time that I took that. And there's Franklin.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hi.
And if you're ready for that second photo,
okay.
okay.
Hang
And
on.
so I backed out the view.
Are we looking on Messenger? Is that what we're doing?
He's sharing what I sent in Messenger.
Because I can't send it out over Skype, but I can live stream it. So everybody can see what you're referring to.
Okay. So are we ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So what I did with this, I backed way out the view so that people could see this squall line and the length of it. It still continues way back into the Gulf. But what has come over Florida, the south end of this, and I call these tail end Charlies. When I was learning how to read radar, I was told to watch that southern part of a squall line for tornadic development, and this is just classic. And continues to spawn radar indicated signatures. So it was just, I wanted to share with folks what we're seeing, why the warnings are there, and a little bit of what I was taught early on in my training to watch that area. Now, the notching can happen with any squall line. I know they talk about the northern end as well. If it gets a good wrap on it, you watch that area as well. But any of those notches can spawn a tornado. These were just classic looking, I thought.
Wow.
That's
Zoom in.
It's kind of a rain monster down there based on what Jacksonville and Tallahassee have said. And I agree with the terminology soup. Good grief.
I don't get the appeal to folks moving down there to spend their retirement years in the humidity.
You know, I don't think they do. See, remember I said the Suwannee River is right in there, and the Okefenokee Swamp. I know you guys have heard of that one. It's right in that same rough area there. This is not exactly the garden paradise that you might expect, sort of like Orlando or south. Now, I'm sure that there would be some Floridians that would disagree with me on that, but there's a reason why they congregate at the villages in Orlando, and it has nothing to do with playing yard pool or whatever they do down here.
Well, I have a theory of my own, and this is going to sound like I'm beating up on old people, and I'm not. I'm probably, I feel like, more sympathetic to older people and the elderly than a lot of people from around my age and same generation. But statistically, as you grow older, your body retains and produces less body heat. So I think why a lot of these retirement communities and areas tend to be in places like Florida, Arizona, Southern California, places that normally have a lot more heat and humidity, is because for people who may not have as much body heat and retain as much body heat, it's not hot for them. It's more of a pleasant climate.
I don't know that I'm going to be one of those old ladies. I
probably
too
won't
easy.
either.
No, I don't think you're going to be one of those old ladies, Franklin.
No, definitely not. Probably not even one of those old guys either.
Did they just issue another one? Yeah, they did.
They did.
Do we
Or
want to?
extended the one.
Do we want to go to a more live picture of this, or?
We can.
Well, they're actually, are they doing like coverage on it? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean one of yours. I mean, if you guys want to pull a radar up and
Oh, well, here I can pull it on
throw it
here.
up there. I mean, I don't know. You know, like I said, I think we could. Oh, I need to get on and get that to be the main focus.
I'm surprised there aren't any flood reports coming out of Savannah. That's an insane amount of rain.
Let's see. So this is a line segment, quasi-linear cell, as we would call them, right? QLCS.
Yes. QLCS, quasi-linear convective system.
So velocity. Since we're looking at that, here's what's interesting. There's where the rotation is. And if you go back into... Yeah, hold on just a second. I'm going to have to contact, I guess, Sam or Sony tomorrow, because for some reason they're not accepting any of my payments to try to put the money on. So I can't get it. It won't put anything on. I don't know what's going on. So I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. We were giving my son some money so that he could, spend it however he wants to for his birthday, and he wanted to spend money on PlayStation. Like, okay, that's fine. So I was going to dump it on there so that he could do it, and they're rejecting my payments. So I don't know what's going on. So I have to contact them tomorrow because their customer service is limited due to the COVID-19. So, yeah, good times. Anyway, there's two little areas of rotation here. Right in here. And then this one is much stronger, but I don't know. This doesn't appear to be a very strong couplet, but there's definitely rotation in it.
Yeah, I see the one that's kind of northwest of Lake Butler.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, and they're saying it's radar indicated.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty pronounced on my radar.
Are you using Jacksonville?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I went and I pulled up my sidebar and clicked on the warning, and it takes me to what should be the closest radar. So that's what popped up was Jacksonville.
By the way, Patty, have you signed up for the forums yet for WSB3?
I have not.
So I signed up and I got approved today, and I went into some of the forums just to kind of read into it. They've got a lot of neat customizations you can get. And they're not like you have to pay for them that I can see. At least I haven't noticed yet. So I'm going to read into that a little bit. Thought that would be kind of cool.
That will be cool. I haven't gotten that far with it. I've been trying to get things tweaked the way I want them and find things so that I can get to them quickly. I did some of that yesterday when the storms were going on in Oklahoma, so that I could be ready for when we're under pressure.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of going, wow, when are we going to be under the
Well-
gun ourselves, you know?
I was telling Billy earlier on the Wellness Net that this is Dixie Alley time. This is
Mhm.
typical. It's very typical. They get it first, and as the year progresses, the storms move north.
More to the
Uh,
traditional tornado alley.
Right. Well, Dixie Alley is a traditional.
Well, I know,
you know-
but I don't think a lot of people who aren't into meteorology really realize what Dixie Alley is or that it exists, though. More people think of Oklahoma, Kansas.
Because you don't see a lot of real pretty tornadoes coming out of here because it's
The jungle.
heavily forested, it's jungly, it's hilly in places like it is here, and people don't like to chase in that. So, yeah, they don't hear about Dixie Alley outbreaks unless something horrific happens, like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Tuscaloosa or something like that.
Tuscaloosa or something of that nature. So, but yes, this is Dixie Alley time, and it's very typical of what's been happening for years. So our time comes usually in May. We can get storms any time of the year, anywhere in the United States, with the exceptions, like far north. I think it would be extremely rare in the wintertime to get a tornado, but we've had them here. We've
January.
had tornadoes in December and January. Yeah. The first one I remember was 1971, and it was Christmassy, or it was a Christmas concert. I think it was December 21st. Yeah, and it actually hit the airport here. So that was before they had radar. That was before they had, NEXRAD, that Doppler. So quite a time, and it was quite a night. We were short sleeves like summertime. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, the most recent one I can think of, an example like that was, the one that hit Harry Cooper's Supply. That was January, because that was just like about a week before my grandma passed away, January 12th of 2008.
That was sending a message
that?
to
No.
a chaser that will remain nameless, but we all know who he is.
I think Harry Cooper happened to Mother's.
No, it was January.
It was
'cause
January.
It was the week before my grandma passed away, because she wasn't doing real bad yet, but she hadn't been doing really good, and I remember she was quite nervous that whole night.
I bet. So if you're watching these storms, they come up to that same point just to the west of Gainesville, and they get a warning on them.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming up out of the Gulf, they hit just the right conditions there, and it about that same spot on that squall line as it progresses. It's been kind of fascinating to watch today.
Jacksonville is expiring the tornado warning for Gilchrist County.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
What? No. This is in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Florida.
Well, they always see me jump on radar and they start freaking out. Is there a storm? Is there a storm, Daddy? Is there a storm? No, not for us. We're fine.
Not for us. Now, that being said, if Steve would like to share the convective outlook for tomorrow.
Bear with me here, and I'll get that slide up.
Well, now I thought I saw that. Well, I was down in South, like in Branson area, possibly Arkansas. I'm keeping an eye on it simply because my parents live in that particular bullseye, so I'm kind of concerned about that.
It's actually it's up, dear. So if you want to go ahead and take it.
Okay, so I was pulling up day 2 convective outlook here so I could sound a little bit intelligent about what's going on. Now, for one, since we're talking about Florida, there is a slight risk in the same area we're looking at for tomorrow.
Okay.
So this moisture will continue to stream out of the Gulf. As for here, Greene County is right on the edge of a marginal risk for severe storms tomorrow. It looks to clip the southwest corner of Missouri, southeast corner of Kansas. About half of Oklahoma is either under a slight risk or marginal risk, as well as all of Arkansas. The slight risk runs in the Quad Corner, for Texarkana area up to about Little Rock, and I'm guessing here over to about Oklahoma City, and even farther south into Texas. I would say that's probably down around Canton area. And that's just very rough. And this will change when they update at 1 a.m. But there is a marginal risk of severe storms here tomorrow. So a few strong to severe thunderstorms possible across Florida and across portions of southeast Oklahoma through the Arklatex late Friday afternoon into Friday evening. So there's a shortwave trough that is blasting our way that will bring that to us. I was looking to see. So tomorrow evening could get a little interesting locally. We'll see what they do with it on the update. See if that pushes south or pushes north.
That is the disclaimer with the SPC that whatever you see now will change.
Yeah, that's my take. That's my
Well, we
take.
should all
Yeah.
know better at that point.
Yeah. Exactly. So what they're saying here is widespread showers and thunderstorms likely Friday into Friday night. A few strong to severe storms with large hail and damaging winds are possible. Late Friday afternoon and evening, mainly along and south of a Joplin to Springfield to West Plains line. At this time, widespread severe weather looks to remain south of the area. Frequent cloud-to-ground lightning will also be a threat Friday. Given the recent rainfall, additional rainfall could lead to more localized flooding in the area. Rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible with this system.
Okay.
So that's what we're actually looking for tomorrow.
Woohoo.
And that was just updated an hour ago.
So there's a good chance it could move to the north.
Potentially. I mean, I haven't.
Charlie,
I
hold on just a
I
second.
am
I'm
not a
sorry, I
good
didn't
model
mean to yell
reader.
at you guys.
No, you're
My-
fine.
My dog just jumped in. She's trying to lay on a sweater she shouldn't be. Hold on.
Sounds like Charlie's in trouble, though.
So what you're saying, Patty, is that because I did not go and do my shopping today, I'm going to probably need to get after that early in the morning.
I would say early rather than late would be prudent.
Prudent.
And the reason that I went ahead and did my Menards shopping for the yard tonight was so that would be taking the pressure off of shopping tomorrow. So that you wouldn't risk having to haul all that stuff in the rain. So,
Yeah, and
and the
unfortunately
front flower
for
bed is done.
the folks listening, we're sorry that we didn't get this information out to you today, but tomorrow might not be a great day to do outdoor activities.
Let this be your warning, but it could change tomorrow. So
It's gonna change tomorrow.
yeah,
We just know that that's going to be a thing.
So, hey,
go
I'm sorry, Steve.
go ahead.
Just to update on radar. Look, there's a notching that's starting to form right in here, right where the system's seeing the meso. You see that little notch right in there?
Hmm.
Now, there's not any active rotation that I can see, at least not in the... well, come on, get over there.
It's on 75, isn't it?
Yeah, see, so I'm not seeing any active rotation here, but it's kind of interesting how it's notching and the system is seeing a little bit of a meso. So, anyway, sorry, just kind of an update there. So,
Hey,
back
no,
to what
that's
you were
fine.
saying.
Yeah. I think from the looks of it, this thing is kind of going to go... Either something else is going to develop or it's going to kind of peter out before it gets totally... Just based on the stream of warnings that I'm getting out of Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Because their most
They
recent
popped
weather
the new
statement
severe
was...
thunderstorm warning. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Their most recent warning is actually just an expiration.
Yeah, they
Interesting.
just canceled a warning for Gilchrist County, and the next thing they put out is just a continuation.
Right.
Although they are saying that they're seeing circulation tightening up northwest of Johnstown, moving towards Rayford and Ellerby.
Yeah, the one you're talking about, says that should be to Rayford by 9:27 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
The one to the
Yep.
south of there looks to be coming up on La Crosse at 9:10, Waldo by 9:30, Hampton by 9:34, and Keystone Heights by 9:43.
Yeah, looks like that's making almost a straight line to them.
Now, all of those times actually are central times. If you live in this area, that's actually an hour.
An hour behind.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they're seeing just that make the 9s into 10s.
Good.
yeah, I never
Thank
thought
you.
about that, but I assume most of the weather radar programs, they put that into your default time zone,
Yeah.
not what the local time zone would be.
It is showing that as a CDT on there, and the actual warnings that I read from Jacksonville are in Eastern Daylight Time.
Local time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just changed the polygon on this. It doesn't look to be the same.
It
Shape.
did on that update.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It may
now
have
saying
kind of enlarged it.
that it's now saying on that northern storm, Lakeside and Orange Park are in the path of this storm.
Gotcha.
So it did shift. And it will continue to. These storms are generally moving to the east, but more northeast in their actual tracks. So
The tornado warning for southeastern Columbia is canceled. Columbia County.
Time is 9 p.m.
Oh.
got too many radios going.
I don't have any video.
Said no ham ever.
Said no ham ever. Yeah, no kidding. So, guys, I don't know if
What
you
do
noticed
mean too
it,
many?
but yesterday during the Wellness Net, there was this extreme amount of electrical noise on 2 meters. I mean, like you were running a welder.
I don't guess I noticed it.
And even Gene couldn't get in from Stratford because the noise was so bad.
Well, now wait, are you meaning yesterday or are you meaning Tuesday?
Well, it would be Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday.
Okay, gotcha.
So, this was, and I'm going to say I put up my new 10-meter antenna, and it was just blowing the doors off with noise. Probably S8, just steady. Sound like a welder is what it did. So we get a rain, and today the noise was remarkably less. Now I still get a every once in a while, but it's sitting there now on S1 on the 10-meter antenna, 28.4. So
Now, I was curious because I did watch part of the replay of that Wellness Net while I was waiting to do the one yesterday morning.
Yep.
And I was wondering, is that the CB antenna I gave you?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you're getting use out of it.
Yep. I basically clipped 6 inches off the tip, and it resonates about 28.3 now.
Nice.
But it's super broad. I mean, if I wanted to use it as a CB antenna, it would work because the
It would still
SWR is
work.
good. Yeah.
Nice.
I may clip it a little bit more just to get more advantage out of the FM 29.6 frequency. But
I just knew I couldn't use it here. I could store it at my grandparents' place, but it would just sit out in the barn or in a storage unit out there doing nothing. I figured, hey, if you or the club could get some use out of it, might as well.
well, it got a paint job.
Nice.
That bad fiberglass, it was starting to come apart on the surface, so I sanded it all down, painted it with house paint so it would protect it. And
Nice.
so it's quite functional. It does what it's supposed to do.
Awesome.
Did you two get, Franklin and Rodney, did you guys get a chance to watch the videos?
Oh yeah.
I have not. I pretty much, we got home, I unloaded the car, I came in here and started setting things up, so I didn't get a chance to watch the videos.
Well, watch the first one, Franklin, on your phone if you can. And we'll come to you for comments. So we're going to start with Patty for comments on the first Pecos Hank video, which he basically gets run over by a tornado.
So my first reaction when I realized it was Pecos was, this is totally out of character for him. He's one of the safest chasers on the planet. To hear debris hitting the side of his car was frightening, to say the least. But that was an extremely strong tornado. What was the name of that town? I want to say Mabry. I don't think that's right.
Maydale, Oklahoma.
Medill, Oklahoma. Evidently, the building that it hit had workers inside. 30 people were injured in that tornado down there. There were a couple of deaths. Frighteningly strong tornado, long-lived, beautiful. At the end of the video, that condensation funnel was just amazing, but it wreaked havoc as it went through. And but my first reaction was that was just totally out of character for him to be that close. Definitely failed the windshield test.
No, it probably would have broke the windshield test.
Oh my.
Well, for a second there, I thought it was a Reed Timmer video, and when I saw it was Pecos, Hank or whatever, I looked at that and I go, "Whoa, well, yeah, he definitely was way too close for that." And part of me thought to say maybe he was zoomed in, and maybe he was actually farther away than he made himself out to be. But after I did start hearing stuff hitting his car, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
he is way too close to that wind field.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as a first of all Skywarn net control, I do not ever want to get somebody that close.
Oh no.
Now, as the second part, as a photographer, that follow up at the end was beautiful. You take that with a wide angle, that thing is going to be gorgeous. Moneymaker shot. But you could have, I mean, at a minimum, had windows broke out. And worst case scenario, it could have took your little car and made you flip up and down and do whatever. Which I did see on another video. It was actually a Ram truck that basically looked like it'd been through a crusher.
Ooh.
If somebody was in it, I don't know if they would have made it. It was pretty serious, but yeah, that's pretty scary. So Franklin, now that you've seen it,
Actually, I have not seen it quite yet because I was posting to the Greene County page, but I am trying to look. Is this the one how lightning works, or is this the close tornado tears through town?
close tornado tears through town.
Okay, let me take a look at it here real quick.
You gotta watch it on a big screen. Little screen ain't gonna do it for you.
Well, I'm watching it on my 20-inch cinema display.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You know what? I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch.
I
I'm
would
gonna watch
put
it
it on
along
the-
with you.
I
gonna
would
watch
put it on
Yeah.
the 24-inch one, but that's got radar right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
So-
I'm just gonna watch it again. That's what I'm gonna do.
I've only watched
We-
it 3 times, so
We do have we
Okay.
do have a chaser that is from down around Joplin, Carthage area who was on that same storm, and I have to give him kudos. He was in the perfect spot. He placed himself in the perfect spot
This-
to film that
this-
safely.
It's too close. This is way
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
It makes
holy
your
I
heart
crap!
race.
mean,
Doesn't
it's
it,
blowing the
Franklin?
debris right across the street.
And look at those cars going by.
yeah, just driving by.
Oh, Walmart's gonna get hit.
Yeah, apparently. I'm surprised the Walmart sign's not down by now.
Oh, look at the lightning flash
Oh,
or the.
God.
Power.
Oh my god!
Oh, there's the flash. There goes the roof of the
Oh,
building.
geez.
that
Yeah,
the roof of that building was just
it
amazing.
peeled
Well,
that
let's
thing
get
up.
closer.
how just
Like a
Get
sail.
shredded it.
My earphones on. Oh, look at that!
This is
Okay.
about the point. If he's one of my spotters, I'm literally clutching my chest, having a heart attack.
Yeah. Get
Oh.
I did
out
have
of there.
one of those moments with Rodney one night. It was right after I learned how to find the notching on a squall line coming through, and Rodney went out with Jim, and I actually put them right in the notch. I felt so bad.
That was so scary. Jim goes, "It's
Well-
never like this before. I don't. This has never been like this before." I'm like,
At least there was a
Well-
pretty rainbow in front of the car.
Yeah,
man, it kicked up so much dust.
it does.
Oh, now we have
And I
vehicles to the side.
I don't know what they were manufacturing in that building, but
Uh-huh.
evidently they were actually working while that was hitting them.
Wow.
So
I think
Look
that's
at
a
it
fault
roping.
of.
Look at it roping out,
Mhm.
and you hear the tornado sirens in the background.
I think that's a failure
like,
of HR
Car
right there.
sirens. But I don't hear like the tornado sirens. I hear like a police or ambulance or something. But yeah, that is pretty darn cool how that is just that thin little rope.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, definitely too close.
So I have started following him, and he has got a lot of videos. But have you seen the one where he's talking about the Moore tornado? It says largest tornado ever
Yeah.
from birth to death.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the reason in the show notes here on this live stream, I've posted the other video, which is about lightning, which answers the question that you asked, Rodney.
Yeah, I watched that, and I'm going, oh, okay. Ding, 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 ding.
So
You know,
I'm going to say, when he's saying this looks like this, this looks like that, I'm going to say you're going to need to be really do this a lot to feel comfortable even that you're describing what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
right. I mean, if anything, you'll have to put it in slow motion just to be able to really identify.
Right. I mean,
So they just extended the warning on that southern tornado warning. Looks like tornado warning for Bradford County, northeastern Alachua, south central Union, and west central Clay counties until 10:45 Eastern. This possible tornado was located near Worthington Spring, moving east at 40 miles per hour. In the path of the storm are New River and Beasley, Sampson, Stark, Kingsley, and Camp Blanding.
huh.
Put that on my watch list.
Hey, so real quick, when I open up the window that has the text history and it has the actual warning, are you guys actually seeing that along?
No,
No.
You don't see that?
Uh-uh.
no. And when you take pictures, it only takes of the radar screen.
Itself, not
If you
other
do,
stuff.
yeah, if you want to try to capture that to show someone what this program will do, you actually have to do a screenshot.
So it makes me wonder
Gotcha.
if it's being protected or oh no, I know why it is, because it's a dialog box within the program and OBS can't pick up on it.
Well, the program itself won't pick up on it. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
If you do an image capture, the program itself won't capture it either. It's like a pop-up ad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So in order to get that, you'd have to, like Patty said, you'd have to be able to do a screenshot.
Now the difference in the Linux version of OBS is if that happens and it's on the screen, like on my screen, it'll actually pick it up because it's displaying what the monitor is displaying, not what the program is displaying.
Program is displaying.
Right.
So, gentlemen, I need to grab a little something to eat because all I've had today was one tiny little burrito. And yeah, I've been doing a bunch of yard work and I need food. So, hate to bail in the middle, but I will be back.
All right.
We'll probably still be here.
I think I am going to go grab dinner real quick because it was ready when we got home and I have not ate it yet. I've had more than Patty has had, and I probably had it more recently. But I will be back here in probably like about 5 to 10 minutes.
All right. We will.
Well, hey,
do it.
since everybody's going to eat, I'm gonna go eat the rest of the food that I brought from earlier. I'll be right back.
Do we want to just suspend the streams? I don't know if I got enough fill for that. So
Oh,
now,
it's funny
now
'cause
that I've got you on here and the daughter with the cat.
the daughter with the cat. Yeah, look at her look at her hold that cat.
My cat likes to be held
Oh.
like that.
That cat's being held under duress.
Duress.
You'll notice. Oh yeah, dude. Look how the cat's responding. Becca, stop it. She's not fine. That poor cat. See, look at that cat going, "Please, somebody kill me. Somebody kill me right now."
Okay.
Oh,
we'll
jeez.
pull her off. So, tell me what you're now that you got to see a more technical version of lightning strikes. What do you think? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna start out with, as ham operators, that is frightening because
It's very frightening.
we have big lightning rods up. I don't know if you caught the article in QST magazine about some guy developed a kind of a quick change, quick connect for it's a open wire, 450 ohm wire. The reason he did that was he had a antenna hit, and it had the plastic separators instead of being molded. Well, it ended up all of his plastic separators were scattered about the yard because the lightning vaporized the wire. Completely vaporized it. And he said, hey, you know what? I followed the rules when it came to grounding my shack, and all the antennas where they come in were all grounded together, and my radios were fine. But it blew it to bits. That's the frightening
it just goes
part.
to show you that it doesn't matter how much grounding you do, you're still going to have some kind of damage. Because, I
Yep.
mean, think about that.
Yep.
I mean, now, what I thought was interesting was when he was talking about how the leaders and how they literally crawl up towards the other lightning that's coming down,
Yep.
and I'm just like, whoa, it's actually reaching up,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that blew my mind. I thought, okay, well, this makes sense now. So that's why he was saying, the positive ones are like 10 times more deadly than the negative. Well, the negative ones are deadly too, but I mean, they're more potent, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't.
And they,
What I took from it, and something that kind of went beyond what I understood, it's not just that the storm will generate a charge, it generates multiple charges. And so you have areas where the storm has a more positive charge and a more negative charge, which explains why on a good lightning show you've got lightning going inside the cloud that never goes to the ground.
Right.
But every now and again, boom, it comes down and hits the earth, and those are the things I think. There's been a couple companies out there that's developed lightning detectors, and it'll actually give you a heads up if there's about to be a strike.
Because it can identify the positive and negative ions.
Yeah. It'll indicate an increase in charge. A lot more better than, I suppose, than your hair standing up, which I would think.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, what is that all about? You stand outside and your hair starts sticking up. You might as well just start running for the hills. Aren't you going to get hit no matter what? I mean, because lightning.
Not necessarily. So you've become a leader, and
Right.
remember he said the leaders have multiples of, and whichever gets there first gets the lightning strike. So you understand the basic behind that is your body is all one charge, and the hairs all are movable, so they start fluffing up. I believe the Weather Service's advice is hit the deck, just lay down on the ground.
So The videos I've seen that talk about this, and I haven't been able to find the one back, was there was a television reporter who felt it, and her hair, she had hair about the length of mine, stood straight out, and she tucked and went down toward the ground. The other thing, if you think about how an electrical current works, it has a path in and a path out. You want to put both your feet together so that it doesn't just run completely through your body and look for. You want to tuck yourself in, both feet together, hands clasped to your and arms clasped to your body, so that it minimizes any damage should you get hit. And the same goes if you're in an automobile wreck or your car stalls out in deep water and there's been thunderstorms around, there's possibility of power lines down. One, if you're in water, don't get out of the car. But two, if you absolutely have to evacuate your car, again, you want to keep your feet together, make sure they both hit the ground at the same time, and shuffle your feet as you walk. And probably 30 to 60 foot away from where you're at, especially if there's water on the ground. So, just.
So, have you guys ever seen some of those videos of people getting hit by lightning?
Yeah.
And have you seen the one where I guess it happened in an Asian country where the guy got hit 3 times? Now, I got to understand something here.
3?
I said he got hit 3 times. So I don't know if this was doctored or what, but I'm going to share my desktop and let you see this. All right, so this is it right here. I'm going to click it, and obviously there won't be any video, it won't be any sound, but you might be able to just see it. It's probably really blurry to even see it anyway, but
No,
it is.
it's clear enough to see.
Yeah.
Okay, watch. Oh, that's not it yet. Okay. Obviously, it's raining. Some dude starts walking down the way. Boom! Hit him. Knocked him flat on his face.
Dang.
He gets up. Watch it. He'll get up. I'm sorry. It's not supposed to be funny. I don't like to see the misfortune of anybody, but the reaction is just. He's like, "What the heck hit me?"
Dang.
So he gets up. Oh, watch.
It's amazing it didn't stop his heart.
It
Yeah,
probably
well, see, I mean,
did.
it look at the dark spot it left. I mean, it dazed him something awful. Now watch. Boom! He gets
Oh. Dang.
hit again. He gets up. Hold up. He's getting up.
Did we switch over from weather to cops?
Oh, no.
No, it's
Okay,
it's
it's comical, but it shouldn't be. I mean, you're not supposed
It's
to
one
be
of those things where if it happened to you, you wouldn't be laughing at all, but
No,
it happened
okay,
to
now
someone
watch.
else, so.
Here he goes again.
Ooh! Oh, don't tell me he got hit more than
3
once.
different times. 3 times.
Oh my lord! Now, I've heard of different people getting hit multiple times, but not all at the same location within a short span of time.
I know,
Not
right?
in succession, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
You
In
know,
my
I've
heart-
heard of people, like Well, in '86, I got hit in the backyard. Then in '92, I was out helping my pa tend the field. Got hit then. Then 2 years ago, something like that. But not. Well, I walked down the sidewalk and I got hit. About 5 minutes later, I got up, took 3 steps, got hit again. That time, it took me about 10 minutes to wake up. I don't think I got a half a step, and I got hit a third time.
Well, there's another video that actually happened where it knocked the dude's shoes off. Here, let me cue it.
Oh boy, I can see how it would.
By the way,
Definitely.
this is entertainment while you're all eating. We'll go back to what we're actually talking about.
Uh-oh, here
No.
we go. Hang on, let me
Okay.
I'm going to
rearrange
I'm
my
going to
screen
kill
so we can see
my
it.
camera for a moment while I take my injection.
Okay, turn off
Okay.
the camera.
There we go. All right,
Ready?
you got a full screen. Hey! Oh!
Oh, this must not be it. Boom! But look at
Not gonna need an
Yay!
umbrella after that, man.
on top of the fact that he stepped right into the water.
Right at the same time. That looks
Boom.
like a positive charge. Doesn't that look
Yeah.
like
Did
it
you
comes
see
up
how
from
it
the ground?
flashed? Yeah. So that is pretty wild as well.
Mm.
I wouldn't need an
Ouch.
umbrella after that. I would have wet my pants.
Yeah. It would have been not my brown shorts. Bring me my yellow ones.
Yes.
Let's see here. Guy gets hit by lightning and knocks his shoes off.
Knocks his shoes off.
It does.
Oh, I can definitely see how it could. I have heard of people getting hit, whether it's by a lightning strike or electrocuted from like an open, a bare line or something, being knocked multiple feet back. So, I mean, I can very well see how it would knock your shoes off.
Yeah,
Well-
man gets struck by lightning while walking his dog, then gets saved by good Samaritans. I mean, you can watch anything here, but man speaks out after close call with the lightning strike. Well, here's my thought: who was recording this?
It probably was
You know what
a
I'm saying?
surveillance camera.
Hey. Who was recording the Rodney King incident?
I wouldn't say
Oh,
that
hey,
wasn't.
No, now, come on, now, let's not go there. This is weather related.
I don't think
Well, no,
that
I'm
one
just saying
was.
someone who was driving by happened to do it. Now, Steve is probably right. A lot of these, they probably get off of surveillance cameras and stuff. But, a lot of times it just happens to be the person who's walking by or driving by. They may or may not already be taking video, but they
Yeah.
see something and they start filming it.
Yeah, that's true. Here, this is interesting. If you want to see what happens when you get struck by lightning, no, we'll have that on another time. But anyway, I was just showing some of that to you. Again, it's, if anything, some comic relief. The people lived, so we can, we can laugh about it now. But still one of those things where, the irony behind it is just crazy. So, anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a real close call. I hope that I never do, honestly.
Now, there's an old myth that says that you count the seconds after you hear the thunder, and for every second is a mile. That is a
1,000 feet,
myth.
roughly. 1,100.
It's a myth. So basically, you count the seconds and divide by 5.
Right.
Well, the way I was explained of it, that you see the strike and count seconds. Each one of those is 1,100 feet. Which
that would
5 seconds to the
yeah, that-
mile, or 3 seconds to the kilometer, roughly, and you're. But I'm gonna say, I don't know, Rodney, if you heard the story or not, but we had a climber up on the KWFC tower working on the 9.1 antenna when it was out there, and we had a lightning strike. And it was not the tower. It probably hit Stratford. I mean, it was that far away. Well, there's a kind of a 15-mile rule when it comes to towers. You want to have your butt off of it quick, which he did. And that kind of ruined the whole day for continuing repair work. So Patty said, well, you and Sean could go do a little chasing. Well, just as quick as I got in the vehicle and started heading out, the storms just went. So that's where I got donned with the tornado storm killer.
Though. That was the first of many. That was an odd storm. It was going north to south, almost directly south. And then the one that hit Furniture Row, that I still think was a tornado because I saw debris in the air from here. That also moved north to south. It jumped that ridge to the northern part of Greene County and went right down 65. Both of those kind of did that. One was on the right down 65, and the other one was to the east of it.
Cool.
Okay, I think I found it. Lightning strike blows off man's shoes and socks. All right, so this will be our last one, and we'll go back because I know you guys are eating. So let's go here. Let me cue it up.
So me and Ronnie are going to go eat now that y'all have eaten.
Yeah, I gotta go finish. I gotta finish my burrito that I had from earlier. So hold on.
Because I haven't eaten. I've eaten less than she's eaten.
Okay, so this guy is walking his dog. So here we go.
Okay.
Duh! Oh! Dang it! Duh! Shut him off like a light switch.
Look at him.
Well, he bashed his face into the cement. That probably didn't help much. Look at the spot on the pavement it left. Dang.
Dang.
Poor dog.
Poor dog.
We're not letting you walk us ever again.
Oh, boy.
He's like, I was just taking my human out for a walk.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he falls down. He falls down. He just falls down.
There was this huge boom, and my
And
human
he
fell
falls.
down.
All flat.
So
I'm thinking, if this happens again, I may have to spring for obedience school.
yeah. I don't really got a way to share it with you guys, but I can describe it. It's the meme that I posted on Facebook today. And it's got this guy looking out the window of his house with a phone in his hand, and he says, yeah, your dog's down here doing his business in my yard again, and the dog's got a desk and a computer and glasses on. And
Where did you share that?
on my Facebook page.
Well, here, I can show you. Hold on.
Just a doggone...
KA0SPM.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Was it that one, or was it your personal?
my personal. It's my personal. It's not. I didn't share it on my radio page. It's on my personal one.
Okay, here it is. I'm queuing it up.
You're probably going to get to it faster than me.
Let me get it here. We can see it. There we go.
Everything is just like so slow for me this evening.
Doing his business on my lawn again.
Use my internet.
Probably.
I hate to say it, but during our time of crisis, those memes are sure getting funny.
You're getting cabin fever.
And I don't know what it is, but for a long time I kind of locked out a lot of stuff like that, but it just today, nope, that guy's gonna get shared.
Well, you
So
know, that
interesting.
guy should be password protecting his router.
And not the default password, right?
ABC
Yeah, force that dog to have to use 4G.
It's admin. Admin.
Admin, yeah.
So, interesting note, the northern cell that was heading toward Jacksonville now has no warnings on it. And the entire line looks like it is fizzling, although there remains a tornado radar indicated storm to the southern part of it. But even that looks like it's falling apart.
Yeah, National Weather Service Jackson said that they're going to let it expire at 10:45 p.m.
Okay. Mama's all better now.
I need to get better now. Is there anything in there to eat?
There's stew. That's what I had. Stew
All
and
right,
banana
so
bread.
okay, so Steve's gonna go get his. I'm gonna go get mine. We'll be right back. Give us about 5 minutes.
Leave the radar up, or if we want to put Patty and Franklin on, it's whichever one they want.
Yeah, go for it. You can put
It
Patty
doesn't
in.
matter.
All right, I'll be right back.
People can watch me eat. It's highly interesting. I chew my food with my mouth closed.
Share some good Skywarn information, since we've got the head of Greene County Skywarn and the administrator of the Southwest Missouri Regional Skywarn. And
that's not putting a person on the spot.
No, I'm not putting us on the spot at all.
Yeah, you guys, you know what to do.
Of interesting note, I've opened a YouTube channel for the regional.
Oh, cool.
SWMO Skywarn. And with that comes an email, swmoskywarn@gmail.com. The training that we received from Mark Birchfield was shared with me today via Google Drive.
Oh, nice.
And I'm looking at 260 spotters on the regional page, and there's no way I have all their email addresses.
Yeah.
So I downloaded the video and created the channel, and I'm hoping to come up with more content for it. Since some of the other training videos have been uploaded prior to my personal YouTube, I can't. Well, if I go in and delete those, I might be able to re-upload them on there. I'd have to test it and see. There's a couple that are on the Southwest Missouri Amateur Radio Club website. But now the regional has a place to put their own stuff. And
cool.
Yeah. So that was what I did today after planting a butterfly garden and
oh, nice.
Yeah, getting bird seed and 12 bags of black mulch.
Nice. Mom, yesterday while we were in Buffalo, she got a few couple different cherry tomato plants. I think a red one and a yellow one. Got a few little herbs, and I think she's planning on putting them in planters out on the balcony.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those work out real well. So I ordered these plants online. I was looking for
Mhm.
butterfly bushes because I thought our big butterfly bush was dead. And actually didn't realize that it had a couple of fresh starts on it right
Oh,
at
okay.
the base when I dug it up.
Mhm.
So that got one got replanted right where it had been behind the bird bath, and the other one got moved across the yard. The other two are over by the azaleas that are, by the way, blooming, and they're beautiful. Big red
Nice.
bulb blooms on them, and the rest of the plants went in around the bird baths. So
Oh, nice.
I'm looking for a lot of good summer color there.
Cool.
Since on the beautiful days I like to hang out on the patio and watch the birds, it's nice to watch the butterflies too. And hopefully some of these will also bring in hummingbirds. So
Yeah, because I know I've read before a lot of the same plants, not all of them, but a lot of the same plants that attract butterflies attract hummingbirds as well.
right, right.
Cool.
So that was my day. Besides sitting in
Nice.
front of the radar going, the South's going to do it again.
Well, I
Uh,
hadn't really got to share it much yet, and I'm not seeing an estimated date. But I'm just looking at, I made a order from B&H on the 19th. Not a ton of stuff, but I got 5 rolls of film, black and white, lens hood for one of my lenses, a battery charging system, an 8-bay system with, I think it comes with 8 rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries. I think they're 2,550 milliamps. Some different cases to put those in because I'm kind of developing a battery management system.
nice.
I got 4 cases, blue cases that will hold either 4 AA or 4 AAA batteries. And then I got 4 black ones. So what's going to happen is the blue cases are going to be for good batteries. The black ones are going to be for depleted batteries that need to be recharged. And then I went ahead and picked up an extra battery pack for my camera.
Nice. Well,
Oh,
hey.
and I also got a 12 AA battery pack caddy for one specific thing. My motor drive for my Canon F1. 12 AA batteries.
Wow.
That's going to cost a little bit to get new batteries for it, but it is so nice to have that
Oh
thing.
yeah, I
Plus,
get rechargeable and you're good to go for
well,
a while.
plus C, if you have no accessories at all, both versions of the F1 are completely manual only. You have no shutter priority, no aperture priority, and even on the new F1 that was produced from 84 up to, I think it was late 90s, you have no program mode at all. You have no full automatic mode. How you get your semi-automatic modes in those is with the power winder or the motor drive, you get shutter priority. To get
Okay.
aperture priority, you have to have a certain finder, which I don't have, but I would like to get one.
Okay. Okay. Just
So,
interesting note here.
oh yes,
I'm going to share my screen real quick.
cool.
So I noticed that there was a chance for some lightning tonight and maybe
Mhm.
some fog to the counties to the west of Springfield.
Okay.
I happened to go back to KSGF radar,
Mhm.
and we are currently in clear air mode here.
Okay.
If you can see this, they're running BCP 35,
Mhm.
but between Wichita and Chanute is this blob of convection slowly moving
Oh
to
yeah.
the east. Um, it's very light, but I was just
Yes, I do
curious.
see that. Hmm. Interesting.
So I'll go back to K-Jax. Yeah, that storm is just about
Excuse me.
done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks
Just
like
about
it's
done.
it's just
Good,
coming.
because those people don't need more. And the rest of what's coming in off the Gulf has not been severe. This whole line from way out in the Gulf up to Savannah, none of that has fired off severe. There's been a little bit of hail possible from it, but and you can see what they've been dealing with all day. This has now moved on up into Virginia,
Mhm.
North Carolina.
In fact, the only thing that I
So-
see right around there is a special marine advisory, but it's off shore. It looks like it's quite a little ways east of St. Mary's, and
Probably this
is that
one.
Frenendia Beach? I'm probably pronouncing it very, very badly.
I'm not certain, but I'm wondering if it's this cell. It's
Probably.
like it's got a punch to it. And then on up here. Here's the one you're talking about. There's St. Mary's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little ways offshore.
Yeah. And that earlier had come up. This whole line progressed from about where this one is to the
Mhm.
east very slowly today, marched to the northeast all day, but very slowly to the east.
Gotcha.
And so now you've got it actually back out here. Yeah. Got quite a lot of moisture from the Gulf just feeding straight into those things.
I'm sure.
The only tornado report out of this whole thing was out of Gilchrist County.
Mhm.
Public reported a tornado.
Now, I did see one or two things on the chat for Jacksonville where some people were like, well, there may possibly be one there. I just can't tell. And, I'm sure it's probably well after sunset there. One of them mentioned something about, I don't see any power flashes. I kind of get the feeling, I don't know that it's necessarily a tornado that's touched down, but I just get a feeling there's something there, but I just can't verify it.
Right.
Which is okay.
Right. And a lot of this area in here is rural. It's very rural. It's not real populated. That tends to congregate along the coast.
I'm not really exactly for sure what area we actually traveled through whenever we went to Orlando and then Miami when we were in the Orange Bowl parade in high school. But I do recall a lot of it seeming like open rural area in between towns, and maybe towns a little bit further apart. Not a ton, but a little bit further apart than what most of them are here in Missouri.
Right. Now, this lake right here, we've got a friend who moved from the Rogersville area. He was a spotter here. And he owns some property right down in here, north of Deltona. I don't remember how many acres he bought. He sold his farm here. I miss his zucchini squash every summer. But the camera shots of the wildlife, the bear, the coyotes, the fox that come visit him. It's very, very rural.
Oh, I would love to get some shots like that.
So I think for the night we're about done.
Oh gosh,
No.
I just found
well-
Okeechobee.
Between
Well, you
him,
guys were.
between him and WA6JGM, that they were our CW operators at Field Day.
WA6JGN. That call sign is so familiar, but I cannot place a
It
name.
should be. He's my
WA6JGM.
assistant director.
It's Pat.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's why. Okay, gotcha. I'm like,
So-
WA6JGM, I've heard that before, but what's the name?
You kind of talk to him once in a while about when you do the regional check-in net on Tuesday
A
evening?
couple times, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a time or two. Anyway, I was showing Franklin. I popped up home while things were kind of fading out in Florida, and we've got a little cell that has popped up in Kansas. They were talking about possibility of some lightning tonight and fog to the western counties of the CWA, and so this is probably where the lightning's going to come from. Now, speaking of CWA, and I don't think I can pull up CWAs from here, or at least I haven't figured out how to do it yet. So the Springfield office basically goes, if you follow my cursor, from about here up to Rolla and across, and then it catches 3 counties in Kansas right along the border here.
Bourbon,
Um,
Cherokee,
and Crawford.
And
and Crawford.
Right. So this radar site, this National Weather Service office that serves Springfield, Greene County, serves 37 counties in southwest Missouri, 34 in Missouri, and 3 in Kansas.
You know,
We do have people in Arkansas in these counties, and especially these 3 counties in northeast Oklahoma, that either feed information to us or garner information from us on the regionals so that they have information for themselves, because they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere and a long way from their radar sites in Little Rock and Tulsa.
you do
Got a
need
quick question,
to
Patty.
give them a little bit of a discussion about who's out there and kind of where. Because there's actually quite a few groups that work in conjunction with the regional.
There are, and the ones that I'm aware of, and I'm sure that there are others. There are some spotters in Rolla. I don't know how organized they are, or if they hold their own net. I really haven't had a chance to contact them. A great number of our counties are OEM driven, such as Lebanon, Laclede County, and Camden County. Their offices of emergency management tend to run theirs. Douglas County has the Douglas County Amateur Radio Service. Teresa Tost is the head of that. She does a lot with us on the regional as well. They're very organized, and they cover all the way from the Christian County line around. We have a Wright County Sheriff's Officer that gives us more reports than anybody else in Wright County. And he's out there, he chases those storms. And what happens with Glenn is that he's watching and he puts himself where those storms are going to hit, and then immediately is out of his car doing search and rescue. He's an amazing man. Weighs about 400 pounds, and he can move faster than I ever thought about. We have Joplin. Joplin has a fairly organized group, but they also have an Aries group. So they've really got two different groups of spotters out of the Joplin area, and they cover well into Kansas as well. Would like to get more going in Nevada. They get a lot of storms that
They do.
pass through there. Nevada or Vernon County over into St. Clair, Hickory, and Lake of the Ozarks. What county?
Camden,
yeah,
some of
Osage.
Benton, Miller, maybe a little bit of Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the storms tend to track through up there. I'd love to see more activity up here.
I have got a graphic on my screen, if I could share my screen for a moment, that you might be of interest, Patty.
Sure.
Okay, let me see what I can
While you're doing that, we also have up in Benton County as a somewhat organized group, but it's called Lakes Area Storm Spotters. LAS. They cover that whole region up around Lake of the Ozarks. There you go. That's what I was hoping to share.
If you want, I can email you a copy of this. I just took the sheet that I got from one of the storm spotter training classes, and I may have scanned it at the library.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
I often put this up while I am doing net control, just so that I can keep all of the counties straight.
Right. The counties that are in the bold names are the ones that we cover.
And if I'm not mistaken, each of the cities within those are the county seats, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So there's some holes in this coverage. You did fail to mention Lindell, who's just in the northwest corner of Texas County.
No, he's right on the Webster Wright County line. Grove
Is he?
Spring.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's the Webster Wright County line. Lindell's out there now. He does a pretty good job with his Aries guys in Webster County. Christian County has a few spotters in it. When Pat is home, he's running that.
When Heather
Heather
was a part of the group, she's a part of that as well.
Right. Taney County and Stone County are reorganizing. They've had changes in their offices of emergency management that run those. Lawrence Berry have combined. It's the Lawrence Berry Aries group, and they kind of do their own net. McDonald County doesn't really have anything, but I think Jasper and Newton, those folks try to help cover some of that. We do have Cade, who's a member in here, who lives in the northeast corner of McDonald County, and he's also a firefighter.
But not a ham
and a
yet.
high school student, but not a ham.
Yeah.
However, he is one of our Zello net controls, and as is Dan up in Hickory County. And they monitor the Zello chat when severe weather is in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a summary of what we have going on.
Now
We'd like to build on a little bit. But
Is Stephen Krieger ahead of the Jasper Aries?
yes, and he actually lives in Crawford County.
Oh, really?
He is the assistant for the Jasper County Aries. He's the assistant EM for Jasper County. That's what it is, and the head of Jasper County Aries.
And then Tyler is Southeast Kansas ARC. Is he consider himself more of a chaser? I know he does reports, but
I think I asked him if they had like an organized net, and he said no. So I'm thinking he still does some chasing. What they usually do is connect to Joplin and listen to what's going on there, because that links to Fordland with the main repeater.
Mm. So the Bourbon County, I saw on the Southeast Kansas group that they did their field day at Big Brutus.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool. But they kind of run those 3 counties there.
Now, quick question. Do you think they'd get mad if we scraped a little small bit of rust off the base of Big Brutus and loaded him up?
Man, dude, you need to go see that thing.
Talk about a wacky antenna.
Oh, boy. You know, you can go way up in that thing just walking around. So all we got to do is run a wire down from up around the cab somewhere where you could attach and just light that big monster up, because it is, oh my God.
It is huge.
It is incredibly
So
huge.
I've been there twice, and both times they had it close to actually going up as high as you could go on it, which I think would be amazing. It was
I ain't going
foggy
up
when
there.
Steve and I were there, and when I took Cicely there when she was little, we used to do these day trips. We lived in Wichita, and it was something akin to the 12 hours and take a gas kind of thing, but we sent it out of Wichita and took her to see Big Brutus. I've got a picture somewhere of that I took of her standing in the bucket. She's like 6 years old, and she would have been smaller than some of the rocks that thing was scraping up out of the ground.
Oh boy.
So, yeah.
Now, the other big hole in the world kind of seems to be Howell, Oregon, and Texas Shannon. Well, Houston is pretty good, and I hear some of the calls out there towards the eastern end of Texas County. But when you get into Shannon, besides the fact that there's not a lot of people there anyway, there just isn't a lot of ham activity.
There isn't, and if they were, they don't have a repeater. And I know from being out there, it's difficult to get back to the repeaters here. As far as Howell and Oregon counties, there doesn't seem to be an interest from the amateur radio community down there to get involved in Skywarn. It's not why they do radio.
Right.
And they don't really have a link in, and until we get the 4.9 fixed, there's not, we're having trouble connecting Houston. So
There was a time
kind of
when,
beyond the edge.
and if you would point out with your mouse cursor there, Franklin, about where
Yes.
the 4.9's located.
It's kind of southern Webster, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
is it more into Douglas?
No, it's definitely in Webster County. It's
Okay.
Fordland.
Kind of
So
south central.
yeah, so years and years ago when it was the 9.1 that was there, and it was standing tall, I got into that from a field just south of West Plains on Highway 17, and that was with a 10-watt radio, and not a great antenna. That's what best I had at the time.
Well, just from reading a little bit of the history of those antennas out there, it's a similar height to the one that fell, correct? Or maybe just slightly a little bit taller?
Well,
the
they were
now
at
the tower
650.
that's there is not as tall as the one that fell.
Okay.
There's one antenna at 850 and one antenna at 650. And honestly, well, I'll keep my opinion to myself. I think now that they've only got one repeater out there, I think they should go to one antenna per transmit and receive. But that's me. They've got the equipment donated. they are still $10,000 short of paying the climbers.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
just to
earn
pay
that
people
money.
to climb the tower, to go up and replace everything, hang all the coax, connect it to the antennas, and all that stuff.
So if you know of somebody who can write a grant, we could certainly use some grant monies to get that done, because it right now, especially with people being laid off work, it's so hard to try to raise money, and with the COVID-19, we can't get out and do a public event to try to raise funds. So, if you know somebody who's a good grant writer, let me know. My call sign, KD0AEL at gmail.com, because I would very much like to talk to them about trying to get us a grant to finish getting the work done out there. This is important to the well-being of all citizens in Southwest Missouri. We have the ability to link to quite a number of repeaters, and if we're not able to key them up and they're not able to key us up to get that done, we're losing our eastern counties.
Yeah, and one of the kind of the rare things about this situation, or at least compared to other link repeater systems that I know of, is a lot of the other link repeaters in the area, like we have one that is basically all the repeaters and equipment have been purchased and maintained by the Nixa Amateur Radio Club. It's the Southwest Missouri Linked Repeater System. Fine repeater system. They've worked hard to get all that stuff put together. A lot of their repeaters are linked through internet connections. I know there's a few of the links in the 4.9 system that may be through internet, but most of the 4.9s are all RF links, are they not?
They are RF links. That's why we DTMF to connect them.
Well,
so I mean,
there's a lot of RF.
Situation.
There's a lot of RF on SMLRS. Probably a lot more than what you think. Because I've kind
of their further out ones are not really in a position where they can link by RF. Isn't that correct?
And those guys are using UHF to make those connections, and
gotcha.
They've actually gone beyond Benton County, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. No, they're in Warsaw. That's about as far north as they go.
Gotcha.
And
they've linked all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska.
But that was IRLP. That was internet.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and we can't forget the Benton County group. We're forgetting the Benton County Aries group.
I didn't miss the Benton County group. I talked about them.
You did?
And, Samantha told me that when they are anticipating severe storms, they activate, and that's what the Benton County Aries group. But she's also a member of LAS, the Lakes Area Storm Spotters.
Okay.
And that's all up Lake of the Ozarks and Lake Ozark County and Miller and Morgan and up through there with Lake of the Ozarks. So, no, I didn't forget Benton County.
Don't want to forget.
And if I'm not mistaken, part of the reason why on the 4.9 all of those can be RF links so far apart is because of the tower it's on and how high up it is, correct?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And I know reading about those towers out there, I know, I think it was specifically the one that did fall. When it was put up originally, it was one of, if not the tallest broadcast antenna in the United States. And I think I had read it was still, even when it fell, it was still one of the tallest in the United States.
One of the top 10 still.
Right.
Yeah.
And interesting note there was the 147120 repeater, I think, or 145120.
14712.
Yeah, it was the backup repeater for Skywarn.
Yeah.
It had quite a footprint on it, much like the 9-1 used to have, 120-mile radius. So, yeah.
Yeah, without like a band opening or something, that's
Right,
that's
that was
quite a
just on a-
range.
That was an everyday occurrence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, band openings during the Joplin tornado, we were getting the 9-1 direct from Joplin, which actually wasn't all that common or uncommon. It happened fairly often, but as luck would have it, during that weather front that moved through, it ducted for a long time. And then, kind of towards the end, it started to die out, which then I went out to the Weather Service and could connect to the Joplin guys directly from there. But, it's not something you count on. You want to count on R91, R64 will go to Mount Vernon without, well, I'll say without, but there's some issues sometimes getting into it, but you can get into it, and that's about all.
I've gotten into it from the 2 9-mile marker on I-44.
Yeah. And
But
I've
you're
heard
dealing
Richard
with
Marlowe.
so many hills. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard Richard Marlowe a few times in his vehicle on the 9-1 from out around Mount Vernon, but it's kind of like what you said. He's up on a high point, on a peak. As soon as he starts going down, he cuts out.
Right.
Right. So if we wanted to extend the range of ours, we're going to need some ears, specifically on the northwest portion of the county. That seems to be the worst.
Kind of up around here, kind of more up. That's more up towards Is it Ash Grove?
Ash Grove and right before Everton. Now, there's some hills there that are pretty easy. You can key it right up full scale, but if you're out there spotting, that's not always a great. It's not always going to happen that way. So the 6-4 is really not any better that direction, just because when you look at the terrain and the altitude, they're almost equals as far as the height above average terrain, and so maybe the 9-1 would cover a little better. We'll have to. It's sort of slated in the back burner of getting gone through and making sure it's performing at top potential.
Now, isn't, and I may be mistaken, I may not be remembering correctly, but aren't the areas that the 6-4 kind of pick up the deficits that the 9-1 has, kind of north central and some parts in the northwest, and then kind of the southeast corner of the county?
Right. Yep. Yeah, it does a little bit better job to the east. Now, I have not tested further because there's a spot down in the bottom there at Taney County and Ozark County that I've gotten into the 9-1 pretty easily with a mobile, which was right at the 42-mile mark, which is pretty good. And I never did test the 6-4. I don't know why I didn't. It just didn't come up to me to think about it. So one of these times when I get back down to the Mark Twain National Forest to the Caney Fire Tower, I'll give it a shot and see what they look like. But because we do have some mountains down that way,
Yeah. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this new antenna design that you've got, whenever we're able to get it up on top of Hammond's, will likely probably eliminate some of those deficits that the 9-1 has as in hearing parts of the county.
I'm going to answer that as a maybe.
A conservative maybe.
We're going to see about a 3 dB increase in signal, just because of the increased size of the antenna. And, you probably will see that as about a S unit. Just a
Okay.
guess. Which was that brings up another thing is on signal strength. I was on with Rodney and I were testing, and KC0VGC got in and gave me a signal report from southeast Springfield. And oddly enough, he was almost within 1/10 of a mile, the same distance from me to the southeast as Rodney is to the northwest. Or I mean to the north or southwest for Jeff, and then northwest for Rodney, within 1/10. I mean, it was like you just swung a big circle around and it hit both. Jeff was using a 43-foot vertical antenna, and Rodney was using the wire that he has.
Yeah.
I could barely hear Rodney. I mean, he was like maybe S2, S3. Jeff came in at S7. And I'm like...
But probably a huge difference there was the antenna, though, right?
Yes. Because I emailed Jeff the next day. I'm like, hey, I forgot to ask, how much power were you running? He's just 100 watts. He didn't have an amp. So, it definitely was kind of an eye-opener. Jeff was hitting me at the same level that Jordan hits me when Jordan's running a kilowatt.
Yeah.
If that tells you. So.
Yeah, because Jordan always is coming in like 10, almost 20 over whenever I was listening to the 10-meter net at the house before we sold the house and took the antenna and everything down. So yeah, I know what Jordan normally sounds like. And
I never got him that good. I get him at S7 at a good day, and
yeah. Now whenever he wasn't running his amplifier, that's probably about what I would get him. Would be like about S6, S7.
I never did put a plot to see how far that was to your house, but I can't imagine that it was more than 3 miles.
Oh, probably not. You mean from your house to my house?
Right. And even where you are
yeah.
now, I can still pick you up quite handily on the input frequency.
Oh yeah, because I maybe moved 1,500 feet, maybe 2,000 feet.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd say a kilometer. I'd have to measure
it's probably more than that. I'm under-exaggerating, but I mean, definitely, I don't even think we moved even half a mile.
But I do think we need to improve our antennas.
I would like to get a little bit better antenna. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm really going to be able to put much of anything outside. It's definitely going to have to be something that is not permanently attached.
Right. I think that at some point that's doable. I haven't looked to see how you get in the attic, or if you can.
I think they have access, but I think it's outside. I don't think any of the units have access to the attic from the inside.
Franklin, you ain't gonna believe this. It's 1.8 miles.
Oh, you mean from your house to?
Yeah, where you
I
are.
live?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Because I know the one time that I had to do selection for federal jury duty to the federal courthouse, which is just right on the corner from Hammond's, where the 9-1 is. I think was either barely just under, just over 3 miles. That's what they paid me for mileage for gas.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's great. We just kind of made it clear what we got going on here, and definitely what I think would be improvements, if could be, as far as our coverage, because might be handy to have at some point, don't you think?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, guys, looks like Rodney's there. I think it's we've got a pretty good night going here so far, but I think we all probably want to take a nap.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Um,
Does look like that blob
I
out
think
into
once
Kansas is moving a little closer.
yeah, it's about to enter our three Kansas
area.
counties out there. Yeah, Watchwarn area. So I have a suggestion, gentlemen, for our next get together. When we kill the feed here, we probably need to come up with a definitive game plan. Pending no weather, we need to have something organized. So if we could stay on instead of shutting off after our 73 round.
all right. Well, let's say 73 and then come up with a game plan. So I'll start. 73, this is KA0 SPM. Patty.
73, this is KD0RSJ.
73 from KD0AEL.
We're going to have to figure out kind of a cadence between all that. 73 from K0SZ, Rodney. You all have a good evening.
The two extras on the outer edges and the generals in the middle. I like it.
There you go. 73, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Bye.